we are back on the desk before the game between Singularity versus JDXL. So we got X7 on the first game, then we get JDXL, the top two teams, by order right now. Singularity have no way to get into playoffs. Okay, what is going to happen?
So I was sitting, I was browsing social media, as a lot of us do nowadays. But, you know, I was coming across a specific post from Jeppe.
Ah,
there you
I
go.
saw that one as well,
We
yes.
all saw that one. So if the viewers did not see what it was, well, initially it's just Jeppe who's theorizing a lot of weird picks to finally come through.
Yeah.
Where it's like, haha, so much fun. And then when the team actually starts wanting these weird picks to come through, oh my god, no, why?
Like,
They've come up with some finicky things. I've heard like Furious of the LeBlanc support, which was quite fun back in the day, pre-rework LeBlanc as well. And I mean, what's the weirdest thing they can bring out in the bot lane? Or just in general?
I have heard certain rumors. I don't know whether I can say them yet, so I'll wait to see they come out.
I have one.
One or two that I think.
I have one.
Okay.
Ari, mid lane,
Yep.
press the attack.
Yeah. So
Was that it?
I was chatting with Alex earlier, who was obviously a big Ari player, and my brother Nymera.
Oh, we
specifically.
approached that subject.
Yes.
I was the one telling him.
Yeah.
He keeps saying he's like the one Ari played and all that.
Okay.
No, he's not. He's not.
You could take this up with him when he's there, but right now I'm
I mean,
not
I'm
here.
talking with the jacket, so.
The jacket possibly has more personality.
Like
He's
I'm
not here to
part of
defend
this
himself, so I can
decision
say that.
too.
Oh my.
Yeah. Who are you?
I think I'm just leaving.
What is happening? But yeah, continue.
Why am I getting violated?
Wait. The idea with the ADR,
Unlawful.
the idea with the ADR is, of course, with your W at level 1, you have so much move speed. So it's very easy to activate things like lethal tempo and press the attack. With your ultimate as well, with the changes to it, you've got about a 15-second window to reactivate it. And if you do get kills or assists, you can reposition super easily. So you end up in a kind of something of a hybrid between something like an Ashe or a Varus with the pick from the charm, plus something of the repositional ability of something like a Kai'Sa if you do go for that AD build. So you have got the option to kind of run a semi-double AD carry comp with the Ari AD mid that's apparently pretty good according to players like Cat.
If we're going deeper, you can bring Ziggs to the bot lane
Genius
to deal
is
with the
coming here.
Jinx.
That's it.
See?
Lucian top.
Okay,
Honestly,
not going
the thing
there.
is, so
Leave
we're-
top alone. Leave top alone.
We're talking about the, okay, so just, the thing is why this is being a little bit, I mean, trolled to some extent as well. It's not only due to the fact that Singularity has nothing to lose and can bring anything out, but it's also just due to the extent that, you know, XL has been the team to always bring something different out as well, even when they're tryharding at their best. So this is like, this has the potential of becoming a super weird draft.
Oh, yeah.
You bring for the spice?
Literally,
More
That's what I want
spice.
to see.
Absolutely.
Because I'm tired of the same old thing. Preseason
Watch this be a
didn't
Jinx
change too
B1.
much.
Watch this be a Jinx B1.
I refuse.
But like, you're absolutely right. We saw M&S literally running a Felios mid the last game. It didn't work out, but that was the kind of creativity we've seen out of these guys. And for a team like Singularity, they have shown a willingness to pull out weird stuff and try and run with it. It has only ever got them really the one win, and that was honestly with a bit more of a standard draft with Vigar kind of actually rising in priority, generally, even if it is a newer pick. And we have unfortunately
go
got a
for the mid lane.
Felios Jinx being offered. And Felios is in. Watch his face.
For some
Zoom in
reason,
nice and
Yamada
close.
is happy
Watch the
about
pain
this. I don't know.
growing. Okay, Volibear's in for Dan, which is a bit more normal.
It's interesting as well because when Singularity picked up their first one as well, it was with Spiky on the Aphelios. So they've already shown that they're actually quite fond of getting the not the Jinx, but the Aphelios for themselves and letting the Jinx go to their opponent, which against the likes of JDXL doesn't actually happen all too often. They quite often pick a little bit of a weak sider for the side of Samulek, and an AD carry he's had a lot of priority on for the longest time as well is, just lock it in.
There
Thank
it
you.
is, the Varus.
Varus.
Yeah. Completely agree with the Varus. It's something he has looked to be on his own with a lot of times. He's also pulled off that crazy quadra kill in earlier weeks where he absolutely popped off.
Got robbed by Dan.
You know, huge stuff. Exactly. There's a bit of rage for Goldborg there, and rightly so. And it has been something where Zamalek has had the lowest, pretty much, like support proximity of any bot laner in the league because he's just left to his own device because they love to play towards Cries and M&S, and rightly so. They have definitely made that game plan and that playstyle work really well. The response is Yepe back on that Nautilus, which helped set up those early level 1, 2 kills against Nariki when they got their first win, and they've gone back towards the Camille. I wonder whether something like the Vigar is still on the table here for them.
Yeah,
they definitely made that work the last time.
It's definitely the comfort draft, but now it's also the fact, what does Cries bring out against the likes of a blind pick Camille? Because I can think Jags, which is huge comfort for Cries as well. Even dare I say cleared, like even Renekton still works out, but it's like there's still possibilities with Cries on a standard level of champions you can bring out. And then you get the finicky side where it's like, oh, let's bring out some
Watch them just pull out the Zillion again.
I don't think Zillion would come through, and it's due to the fact that I see the bot lane is paired up together with the Tahm Kench. Well, you usually don't want to play towards it. You can, now when he's finally has some engaged on Tahm, but traditionally speaking, you leave that lane by itself, and even with a Varus as well. So I think this Volibear, it's more designed to play for solo laners because it is a very facilitating champion, especially when you hit level 6. Just coming in and diving a lane with nobody around to help you is the bread and butter of this champion.
If you want to go crazy in this champion select, you can bring the Volibear to the top side, which is a really good answer versus the Camille. We saw that in the World's Championship, and actually get a new jungler for Dan. Obviously, Dan is really fond of this champion. I know it's a risky idea. It's like 90% to the jungle, but it could happen.
Other teams I'd say, yeah, you're off your rocker with, but with JDXL, it's actually a possibility. So, you know, completely reasonable to call that out. And I mean, it would have been true of Singularity as well. So I see that effectively what we're kind of expecting here is JDXL to look for solo laners. It's probably M&S that ends up with the counter pick. He normally does. Curious to see what they do go for, whether it's something. I mean, at this point, you just lock in something as a counter to the Camille, as you said. I mean,
that's the thing, right?
Probably?
Because you don't have to.
Okay.
Yeah, just like they blind pick your top laner, you're playing red side, you already have your facilitating bot lane, you got your priority and Dan. You just get counter picked for the rest of this. So the ban that's coming out for Singularity, that would just be.
Yes!
What? Yeah, okay, so.
Yes, it's happening! It'll be ADRE and Evelyn mid.
This is literally.
The Hapgoods are united! Thank you, Singularity!
So for the people who don't know, Initialize is an Evelyn main.
I am.
Initialize's brother, Nymera, is an Ahri main. He is wearing the Ahri main's jacket. They literally fused in together today, and they're both mains.
They're gonna win.
Today.
This is it. This is how they win.
No, so they'll lose.
They're gonna win.
No,
Like, I don't know what you're talking about. Be ADRE jungle.
Proceed,
Go on,
Goldberg. Yeah, proceed. Yeah.
Okay,
Goldberg.
I'm not sure about the Silas into the Ahri matchup. I haven't actually personally seen it yet. But let's theorize that it is a good counter because you counter pick it and it's M&S. You have a lane up towards the top side that Cries can dominate as well. You have a lane in the mid lane where M&S potentially can look for at least a 2v2 kill because Evelyn is not going to be a factor in the 2v2 in the early game. So on one side, you have lanes who need to survive till 6 and Evelyn gets to be a priority. And then on the other side with JDXL, you get so much free time in the early game with this Volibear. And for the side of Singularity, you need to get past this threshold because if your solo laners just comes behind to the point where Evelyn finally hitting 6 is not going to matter, the game is going to be really difficult for you to play.
It is. Once you do hit 6, though, you need to be watching those warding patterns as well, though, because the way you ward against an Evelyn is just completely different to other junglers. And I need to see how they're matching and keeping an eye on Porp's camps. Because if he does get a free ride through the early game, which is potentially quite unlikely with the way JDXL have played early jungle, but if he does get there, watch for how he gets into lanes, watch for how he lane ganks, and watch for whether those wards get placed onto camps, because otherwise you just won't know where she is. You need to watch which camps are down.
I wanted to give you, I wanted to give a
let
bit
him.
of
He
time
barely
for
ever
him.
gets time for
this is a special moment for Initialize, so that's why I took this time to let you talk about the Evelyn. So Pop with another champion in the jungle, M&S with another one in the mid lane. The points are really important for JDXL, not much for Singularity, but it's a way to showcase everybody that Singularity still has it. And without further ado, it's time to send it over to the casters.
I mean, right, so apparently Singularity are just looking at casters' solo queues to decide their draw. Now, this is for reference, right? So we've been away from Div 1 a little bit of a time.
For a while.
Well, last time I cast Div 1 Singularity, they locked in Master Yi jungle, and it went about as well as you can imagine a Master Yi jungle game going.
Yeah, I remember
that is to say, very badly, right? If we could just, we can use our power now, okay?
Okay.
So, Singularity, the Hapgoods, they've got backing.
They do.
Evelyn's going to have a... I was going to be really... Evelyn will probably have a 0% win rate after this game.
Yes, that's...
X7, if you're listening...
That's not incorrect.
If we could see a Sejuani on Wednesday for your boy, I'll be here. If we can make that work.
I don't know if they will. They could.
I mean, I would ask Singularity to do it, but
they're very much... They seem to be contracted by the Hapgoods, apparently.
Well, yeah, apparently. I don't know, where's Nymera? Is he drafting for them? because he isn't here today. So this is the conspiracy because we got Initialize on the desk, who's a play-by-play.
Yeah.
So Nymero clearly had places
By the way,
to be.
just for a second, I want to actually give some props to Initialize. He's doing really well.
Doing really well.
But
we don't want to don't build him up too much.
No, we can't give him too much.
He's shorter than I thought he would be. There we go. He's gonna like build him up, break him down.
Okay, sure.
But he's doing exceptionally well. And to bring it back onto topic for a moment, at least, JDXL doing pretty well so far in NLC. Obviously, Singularity not playing for anything other than pride and to ruin someone's day, where there is value in that because JDXL can no longer beat X7 at the top of the table.
No.
But seeding matters.
Seeding does matter. When you look, of course, at the playoff bracket, top 1, top 2, you get that immediate you get that extra life, right? You win that series against your opponent, you go directly into finals. JDXL, I hear your whimper, your
Well,
cry
they just walked into try, and I thought maybe they're going to look for something cheeky, but they were actually just looking to catch anyone who's walking into lane a couple of seconds late. Singularity were not doing that.
No.
So it was okay.
But yeah, you know, still important for JDXL to ensure that they're picking up wins, just so they can finish in that second seed spot. So against a team like SNG, you don't expect them really to falter. But I mean, we've seen, you know, a couple of upsets, especially LEC of the weekend. Did of course happen, where you know one team could have made its playoffs. I believe it was SK and Astralis took them down. And Astralis well out of the playoffs race already, but said, if I'm going down, you're coming with me. Tatui getting the worst end of the trade, and now he's on the wrong side of the lane.
Yeah, that's not the direction you're meant to run from Kryze, but it looks like Kryze is actually more interested in farming, so they've just swapped sides, and now we can actually see the trade. But Camille, of course, has a couple of options to get away, and Kryze on the gangplank very, very early doors isn't super looking to all in, you've got to imagine, especially with Camille having Ignite and having those cooldowns available.
Yep.
So he's just going to back off to the right side of the lane.
Yeah, there you go. Got there in the end. This is a lane which you can kind of see, especially in the earliest stages. Kryze can take complete control. Camille doesn't really have too many answers into Gangplank's laning phases. It doesn't really look like it's going to have too much of an answer into this invade either. Red buff should be secured by Dan. Dan's Port just going to walk away with his Krugs. Does have potential help from Hepe, but I think they recognize it's just 3-3 that they would likely lose. Evelyn in the earlier stages, not exactly the strongest champion in the world, and of course Volibear, a premier early game jungler, though still kind of falling to the wayside to the likes of Lee Sin, Jarvan, and Zinzal. Traditionally, at the moment, he definitely does come in as a close second in terms of contending their early game prowess.
Absolutely, and is able to get in, start fights, and if you're an Evelyn, you're a little bit squishy early game. You don't necessarily have the ability to escape because you can't even go invisible.
No. So
if you meet the bear in your jungle and you haven't got significant help, you probably just die.
Yep, of course. And for confirmation,
okay,
by the way, Dragane does have that lethal tempo, does have his Thorin's Blade, so this is going to be ADRE. Just so...
The desk has too much power. I'm going to say this now.
Yeah.
I don't know what they built that from. I'll go have a look after the game.
Yeah.
Because my cable is not that long.
No.
But they've got like secret telephones or earpieces. Where do their earpieces go? Are they talking to Singularity's management when they're on there?
Maybe they can communicate somehow, like at the same time. They may have some kind of word code that they use whilst they talk. Like every second word is a word I'm communicating to you, SNG, or something like that. You know. Dan trying to sneak into the bomb side here, and this wave is in a pretty poor position for SNG to really have much of an answer into it, but they do have vision. So they have full information that Dan is there. Wait for him to reset. Dan's actually going to cancel it last second.
The water's still there though. So
yeah, exactly. So this is a bit of cat and mouse, right? At the end of the day, Dan's doing his job perfectly. He's still making Spike and Hepe miss out on a fair amount of, well, the wave in XP.
Oh, but engage immediately onto Kikis, who's going to try and Abyssal Void Awake and do just that. And Zamalek going to be rooted up now, and Singularity's bot lane putting the damage down. Won't be able to secure a kill. But have completely decimated the health bars from JDXL.
JDXL, they lose out on the heal, they lose out on their health to try and, well, I say try and do something. It was actually SNG that going for the engage. So pretty much a net positive for SNG. They will come back up a little bit sooner than that heal will as well. So maybe they can find some kind of window. I think especially Port. I think when you're on Evelyn, you did lose your red buff, right? But you're still trying to aim for that level 6 mark at around sort of 7.5 minutes.
They're
As
sneaking.
they are sneaking. They've got the Gravitum as well. They've got a lot of setup to make this work. And Zamalek doesn't have Cleanse, and that's the Abyssal Voyage used.
Jebe's gonna go immediately in. Zamalek goes down. First blood taken up by SBK. And now Kick is running, but it's just into Porp's embrace. Gonna be massive trouble for the Catfish.
Oh, no.
Fails the flash. And just like that, Porp takes the kill. And you know what, Evelyn? I'm as shocked as you are.
It's just the emote makes that kill, doesn't it? It's not even the failed flash, it's just the shocked face emote.
Oh, no.
As a kill will go over to the Evelyn, and that's not what you want to see on the JDXL side, right? You lose out on the 2v2 on the bottom side, and then not only that, Porp, who's not even really necessarily invested in the play, just so happens to be there, and picks up the second one as, yeah, the Abyssal Voyage comes down. They're just trying to clear the wave, an immediate flash forward from Hepe. Surprise, surprise, it's me out of the bush as the Nautilus, and yeah, Kikis walks into the waiting line.
Kikis.
Oh, the production have slowed it down as well. It's just unnecessary violence from the production team.
They woke up today and chose violence
Yeah.
with our production team. Not just our producer, but, you know, observers too. There's a lot of love in there, but hey, maybe Nightmare is the greatest draft coach in the league.
Yeah. You know, it's no... Is it really a coincidence that Nightmare is missing today?
That's what I'm saying.
And
Like,
then all of a sudden, it's ADR. You know, because I was watching the NLC this weekend, and I did scratch my head when he mentioned the ADR. And I think it was in conversation with, it was either Caps or
we should say officially that was Archrom's idea, not Nightmare's. We have to go on record and say that we respect Archrom as a RE savant.
Yeah, that's true.
Nightmare has actually never played the champion. You sound interested about the game, though.
Yes, because Porp just hit level 6 at that 7.5 minute mark, which I was kind of calling out earlier. So, I mean, I was about 6 seconds off, but, you know, I'm a perfectionist with some of these kind of things. So now this is when I expect Porp to try and sneak into a lane and try and find some execute somewhere. This Gangplank lane can definitely be a strong contender, but Dan is going to be making his move up here first.
You've got the cable shop available, though. So Tattoo actually going to hit down with the ultimatum first to hold himself in place and will be able to dive back.
Sure.
There's a lot of damage in the bot side, though. Okay, Dan gets the kill top side. It looks like Spike's looking for something. Kickers is caught in the alcove, goes low, but channels away, has a little bit of grey health to get some healing. There goes Dragane in the bush, caught out by Red Ward.
Oh, MNS
Menez hasn't been caught. He has been caught out by the wall, but he hasn't gone to stop it. There's the ultimate coming through from the top side. Gangplank helping out. There's the kill secured by Zamalek in the end. And JDXL made a couple of good plays across the map. Porp moving through sneakily. It'll be 2v1, puts down the charm, is looking to seduce Silas, who flashes away. Zamalek stops the recall to get a slow as well. So it was touch and go for a moment, but everyone from XL do get out alive.
Yeah, interesting there from Porp. I feel like maybe it's hard to tell because sometimes you have God view, but I feel like he would have seen Zamalek on the top of his screen. You feel like the safer call is just to execute Zamalek, get your free gold. I'm not sure if, I mean, I feel like the replay already being here is actually on the bottom side play. So if we do get a replay of that, again, I'd like to see if he actually had vision of Porp, but yeah, it's just the 2v2 that, unfortunately, JDXL went out, the Ignite burns down on Tepe, but you can see so many Chakrams stacked up for Spike there. And yeah, no Gravita means that there's no route down onto Kicker, so he's able to Abyssal Voyage out. And MNS has already stolen away Dragane's ultimate, so it gives him a lot of extra mobility. Not that Silas really needs it, to be honest. Ultimate comes down from the Gangplank, and it just secures that kill. Nice play from XL.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Great play for them to get themselves heading kills for the first time this game, grab themselves a cheeky gold lead.
Yeah, magically ballooned 1.5k. I'm not sure where that's materialized from.
A couple of kills, some farm. If you look at how farm's looking across the board,
It's the
Zamalek
top lane.
has a confident one. Top lane, of course.
Mid lane as well. Yeah.
So just all the lanes, really, is what we're saying.
Yeah, the solo lanes. Zamalek's only up 200, so it's just the solo lanes, Gangplank as well. Occasionally farming with his Q in the laning phase is going to stack up all of the extra parlay gold. Tattoo does have the Sheen, so you know you can trade back, but it's like 250 damage per Sheen proc from Cries. Like, it just feels so unplayable at this moment in time. Tattoo, I feel like is going to need some help from his jungler or Dragane if he can find his way up there to try and shut down the Gangplank and try and get yourself going on the side lane. That's, of course, what you want on the Camille. It's a very difficult laning phase. You don't necessarily pick the Camille into the Gangplank for, you know, set up in the early stages unless it is a topside heavy draft. In this case, it's not necessary. Now, Porp has slipped his way into the bottom side here, and I think Hepe's positioning might be giving this one away. You can see a lot of pings coming down from JDXL.
Well, both sides looking for the engage. Eminez actually moving on through. We have 4v3 for JDXL as Zamlek goes on the side, doesn't manage to get Porp, but the rest of the team is melting through. The Evelyn couldn't escape, and that's another 2 for the Silas, 1 for the Varus, none for Singularity.
Yeah, I think that was just a really good read from JDXL. I think Hepe's positioning might have been a little bit too suspect, and you just immediately saw the ping start to come down, and game sense kicks in. Dan at some point picked up the Herald. I'm not sure if I'm blind and I just didn't see it, or I just don't recall. Maybe it happened in a replay.
Let's hope, because I didn't see it either.
There you go. Conscious decision, though, as I'll have to actually hold this point.
He's actually caught up in the ultimatum, throws down the ultimate, and Camille is in a lot of trouble, gets taken down, but Dragane is here, and with a low mana bar, a low health bar, and nowhere to run, Gangplank will also fall to the AD. Ari, 1 apiece in the top side. Eminez needs to be careful, but Dan is here. Drops down the Rift Herald. It's just Yepe defending this mid tower, so it probably won't go down if they can move members towards it, but currently, Evelyn's the only one in the neighborhood.
Yeah, exactly, and there you go, charge. I'm not quite going to get that third plate. Wait, there you go. Wave goes. Or the Herald, actually, I think, got a last attack in that. There's loads of pings coming down. They want to defend their red buff SNG. I feel like they might actually be able to... It's going to be a 50-50, but I feel like Porp wins these. Let's see, though. There you go, pretty close. Left that smite quite late. But XL, they're not going to be able to pick up any more jungle camps outside of that plate. Or inside of that play, rather. And they will just walk away from this one. Staying pretty comfortably in the gold lead at the moment. I think achieving everything that they'd want to in the early game so far. SNG, it just feels like they haven't been able to find a coherent sort of streak of play just yet. Porp, still waiting for that kind of, you know, level of access to a lane that you would expect out of an Evelyn post level 6. Hasn't been able to find an execute onto anybody yet. I feel like the setup's there in most lanes. You just got to, you know, sort of throw stuff at the wall and see what sticks.
Well, this is the thing, because we were talking about, well, we weren't. Initialize was talking about how Evelyn has these really great paths that they can come into gank. But look at this now. JDXL have completely hemmed in the gank paths. The engager's actually to come through from Yepe as Zamlek puts down the damage, but Dan is here. It'll be a 3v3. And members of Singularity have gone so low. Spike already going to be clawed to pieces. It's going to be Zamlek securing that one as the re-engage comes off through, but it's only going to go to Dan, who ults away to get the help. Port moving forward, looks for the execute, can't find it, and is now in a heap of trouble. Burns down as JDXL are going to maraud forward, looking towards another kill. Eminez has the ultimate from Ari and has the AP to use it. And it looks like Yepe only going to stall with that stopwatch does get deleted, and the draft, I'm sorry, Nymera, it seems to be coming apart at the seams.
Is this a 1-0 against the Hapgood brothers?
Maybe Nymera, well, what we need to do is we need to see, we need to get confirmation on that.
Right.
We can swap them over to see if Initialize is actually the one that needs to be drafting. Maybe they got the wrong Hapgood. They were like, we hit Hapgood. Oh, actually, Dragane is in a lot of trouble. Eminez is there. We'll be able to dash over the wall and has support from the Aphelios, but that was an interesting chain. It will secure the kill for the Silas. Spike will return.
It's a nice shutdown.
Exchange picks up the shutdown. That's good for Singularity, but again, it's just making these plays that don't make a lot of sense in the top side. Porp might be looking for one that makes a little bit more. It'll be a 2v1, and Kryze is really overextended, throws down the ultimate, but it's caught out by the Evelyn as well, and in the ultimatum, there's nowhere to run. That's what Singularity need to be doing.
Yeah, they needed to be doing this about 6.5 minutes ago.
Right.
So we're a little bit late on that one, because now XL almost have a 6,500 gold lead.
Last game you said 1.5 minutes late was one of the major issues.
Yeah.
6 minutes late seems significantly worse.
You can do basic arithmetic.
I honestly am
of you.
surprised.
Yeah, so they finally do punish Kryze for what has been definitely aggressive laning, but that is kind of how you play this Gangplank lane. Assuming it's in isolation, which, considering a lot of the focus that we've seen on the bottom side of the map towards the mid lane a little bit, yeah, it's about time he's been punished. But unfortunately, Porp hasn't really been able to find anything else outside of that. Was gifted a kill in the early stages. Evelyn hasn't been able to get rolling, and that's kind of what you want, especially like in a competitive setting, right? Of course, we see Evelyn in solo queue, she tears up games just because it's a very unorganized sort of format for an Evelyn to kind of be roaming around and freely picking up these kills. It's not always like that in competitive, but so far I feel like Porp just hasn't been able to find his mark on this Eve. Now looking for a play onto the bottom side of NLC, but
he's half health.
Yeah, 1, he's full health. 2, he's actually rushed the Zhonya's, which I think is a pretty intelligent call here. Looking for the setup now.
Yepe's here as well. It'll be a 3v1. Silas will be able to dash away, but caught up with the charm nonetheless. Gets the ultimate, gets away for a moment, but won't be caught up by the Nautilus. JDXL's mid laner as the whole game on strings. Goes for the stopwatch out of the ultimate. Eminence, no. Please. They've had enough.
That's why he's rushed on this. It's as simple as that. Gonna be able to walk away with his life. And SNG, they will pick up this dragon, and it is technically their second dragon, but...
it's not technically, it is their second dragon.
No, but technically, they're not going to be able to get a third, I imagine. JDXL are probably going to contest that one. They've proactively made the choice to go and secure the Herald. Whilst they do lose out on this bottom side tower, I don't think they're too pressed about it. It seems like Kryze is pushing on the top side. He is fast tracking to level 13. Already level 12 at 16 minutes. And of course, level 13, that is when the barrels tick down the fastest for Gangplank. And that is when you typically have access to, the easier to hit barrels in team fights. Usually it's very, very easy to react to Gangplank barrels before that, especially in these sort of 5v5 situations. And I think, given the audio cue I just heard in my ear, that Gangplank just picked up the true damage portion of his ultimate.
Okay.
So already 500 Silver Serpents at 16 minutes, given how aggressively he was laning, also shows to me that Kryze
You look at the gold, you look at the farm
farming.
difference, don't you? Like, that tells a story in and of itself. And again, he has died twice, so Singularity have been making him pay not handsomely for this kind of play. We're actually going to hold the point because King is caught out with the charm, has to flash away, has the grey health running, but it looks like Singularity are not going to give up without a fight until the Gangplank ultimate comes on through with the true damage in the middle, as you mentioned. Good audio cue knowledge as Dan moving forward trying to grab this red buff, but he's all on his lonesome. The rest of JDXL not super interested in helping him, and now he's going to have to find a way out, running for dear life, has to hold over the wall to avoid the charm as well, and does manage to survive. So doesn't get the buff, but gets out. That's Singularity still holding on in these kind of situations, but when you need 4 or 5 members to take down 1 or 2, things are a little bit dicey.
Yeah, it's not the best position to be in, and I was about to talk about the others, but instead I guess I'll talk about Bifrost Riddle. I think it is definitely our premier game of today, and I think it has, realistically, the most stakes for both these teams. If Riddle are able to take down Bifrost later on today, or after this match, I shouldn't say later on today, if Riddle are able to take down Bifrost, it's not a confirmation.
They put themselves in such
But it is in such a strong position to secure playoffs that it feels almost wrong to talk about them not making playoffs at that point. For Bifrost, again, it's about that race for second place at the moment. As X7, it seems like, should be clear. Obviously, anything can happen. It's League of Legends.
Good to know you know what game we're casting.
Thank you.
Positive.
I've been working really hard on it.
It's like, as it is. But it looks like Dragane is in a lot of trouble here, just going to be caught up. And again, the mid lane, wrong place, wrong time. And that's kind of been the story of Singularity this game. They had that really great early string of play. And by that, I mean exactly one play bot and an effective gank top about 10 minutes later. But they've managed to lose their inner tower on the bot side. Eminez moving forward. I don't think there'll be a charge because Porp is in the wings. I think Eminez might be scared away. Actually, he's going to just go in for the fight. The charge comes through. It'll be a 1v3, but has the ultimate from Ari, and Porp is much lower than he is. Eminez just does not care.
He's 2 items already, and so is Zamalek as well on the JDXL side, as Kryze is looking for the solo kill.
Kryze needs that gold to hit his second item as well, but we're going to move to mid lane where we're going to see Spike rooted up, taken out. Yebe won't be able to find the hook as JDXL are here to support. The tower will fall. And what does Singularity do? Because looking at the gold, very rough. Looking at the game state, very rough. Is what's the game, what should be the game plan? Can there be one?
I'm going to give you my favorite line, Will. I'm an analyst, not a miracle. It is looking
teleport behind. They're looking for the miracle. The ult over the wall is failed by Dan, who has to flash as Yebe caught out. But we're going to go for the ultimatum onto Kryze. But JDXL are there moving forward. And Camille actually has to disengage. The volley bear's going to get a little bit smaller. Looking towards Camille. Get the stun, get the damage. There's the kill as Singularity. They go for the play. They do manage to take out Kryze on the back. Porp securing the kill. However, I don't know if Porp's going to be able to get out of this one alive. Slowed, not stunned, but there it is as JDXL secure another Singularity routed once again.
Yeah, and let me test your League of Legends knowledge real quick. It looks like they're not going to do it. What spawns in 5 seconds?
What time is it?
It was 1950.
That is barren.
Exactly. So I feel like XL, if they really felt like it, they could have even taken that one down. But yeah, this is, Dan retreating a little bit slowly, but they just weren't able to make anything stick. SNG, they threw everything that they could at all of the members in front of them, and unfortunately, they weren't able to take anyone down, with the exception of Porp, who does manage to find a flank. on to Cries, but I mean, it's a 1-for-1. It was always going to be a 1-for-1 in most cases, unfortunately. And that is the case for his trade there. Not even a shutdown kill, which is kind of unfortunate when you look at it, because everybody else has a shutdown on them.
It's... Right, for Singularity,
Yes.
we've been talking a little bit, and we talk behind the scenes as a talent team, occasionally, when they return my calls.
Yeah.
And people have been saying, look, Singularity, in games like this, they like seeing them go for off-the-wall stuff. They've been talking on social media about how they want to be playing stuff that's a little bit different, catching people off guard.
Yeah.
How much out of the box, because I know the devs talked about it, and we talked about it a little bit, as actually we have a bit of a fight, but
Sure.
I think I've already seen
I
this.
don't know if this is a
I think I
fight.
might have seen this one as Yepe is going to be chased away, will go down, Pop is going to go the exact same way.
God.
I don't think Tattoo's going to be able to get involved, so I'll just continue my point,
Yeah.
as they're going to be able to take wolves. How off the wall, is this draft too off the wall, or is it on execution, do you think? As we're going to see potentially another fight, but again, I think we've seen this one before.
I think if you're talking about it in the context of competitive play,
Yes.
the execution is definitely quite hard. At the end of the day, I feel like if you're talking about kind of a scale, as yes, we do realize XL are on the Baron, but realistically, who is going to stop them? The answer is, well, apparently Dragane and Tattoo are going to try and walk in, but let's see what they can actually make happen. Spirit Rush was used, first charge, second charge.
Going to be jumping in. Here's the fight as Eminence actually goes low, has to go golden, but it's going to come out to a completely different team fight state. The Silas is dead, which could be huge, but Spike is looking to try and get away, but so much damage is coming on through. The Gangplank's looking for one more shot, can't find it. Moving towards the Nautilus in that little corridor and kills on the side as well. JDXL, it's a triple kill. Go over to Cries. He has a shutdown bounty now. And now they get to take themselves not only the Baron, but that top lane tower. And crucially, though, I don't know how crucially, with the game state as is,
Okay, go on,
Silas doesn't have the Baron buff.
Well, I'm going to give it to you straight.
You gotta give me something,
I'm going to
man.
give it
Come
to you
on.
straight, man. I don't think it matters. Yeah, Eminez, of course, does eventually die. But the issue is, at 15k gold down, how much does it really matter? This Gangplank armor absolutely shreds through the attempted Baron stop or interruption from SNG. But yeah, SNG is just not too much to talk about. They're too far behind to really contest this. Cries tears through the members in front of him. And SNG walk away with more than their tails between their legs, to be honest with you. As now they are going to be sieging into the mid lane. You've got Eminence on the bottom side to try and get a wave shoved down. And I just feel like SNG's time has more than passed in trying to make something work here, unfortunately. Though, hey, they might be able to try and ruin some KDAs. Dan's still not died yet.
Let's change the narrative a little bit. Let's
All
look
right.
at this from a different direction. So Singularity are going to very much struggle to get into this one.
Okay.
You've got to imagine.
Uh-huh.
With the game as is. How did JDXL close out? They're moving towards this bot lane. They've already got this mid lane inhibitor.
I think we're seeing it on our screen.
Just
What they're doing right now, just moving lane to lane. They already had the bottom side cracked open. They can go towards the top side now. There's no wave. If they want to play it by the books, they can go to the top side, but it looks like a fight's just going to break out
Dane's going
instead.
for the root, but gets caught up himself. Dan has the ult away and actually goes low. Will not lose his first step today as the rest of JDXL move forward and are taking Singularity to the clean. His damage coming through is so massive. JDXL still have all 5 members, and Cries is on a rampage, taking down everyone he sees. Dragane moving back to the fountain, doesn't want to ruin his own KDA any further, as Singularity will lose again. JDXL keep themselves at near the top of the table. They keep themselves in striking distance, keep themselves in the conversation for best team in the league. But Singularity, it was hard to master the competition, Dan. You playing with our emotions, but JDXL were not playing with their food as they secure themselves another win.
Yeah, and sub 25-minute victory for the...
Good times.
Yes, a good
They're done listening to us already, clearly.
Yeah, they are.
2 games in.
Dominating performance. It's hard to talk about games in that fashion, you know, post mortem.
Yes.
Really, it's absolute slaughter from JD.
Fortunately,
Yes.
we don't actually have to do
we
that
don't.
because that's Arkrom's job. He's going to be talking to both of the teams in a couple of minutes' time, so don't go anywhere. We'll see you in a few minutes.
Welcome back to the post game after JDXL takes down Singularity for another victory, almost securing themselves the second spot on the standings, heading towards the playoffs. Now, it was an interesting game nonetheless. We had Evelyn in the jungle, attack speed Ari in the mid lane, and I gotta be frank, guys. I gotta disclaim this. Nightmare played attack speed and AD Ari before. He attacked me on social media, so I'm just gonna say this, guys. We know, Nightmare, you're the best Ari player in the world, okay? He's not, but cut this part, okay? He's not even close. Looking into the post game, though, I have with me on the part of JDXL, not Turok, but I have for the first time Zamulek. Hello, pleasure to meet you.
Hello, nice to meet you.
So, Varos again into the bot side, and for the first time, it is not attack speed Varos. I was expecting the attack speed. What made you change your idea?
I feel like lethality gives you a much more opportunity to do stuff in fights. Like I usually just go on hit Varus when enemy have at least one tank. They didn't have one, so I don't know. I just like to stand behind my team, let them carry me, and I can just like throw Q ulti and that's all.
Even though
guess
you
that's my
have
duty.
the Aphelios and the Jinx and all those hyper carries that everybody's picking every single day, you pick the Varus. Is this like a special champion to you?
Yeah, it means this champion means a lot of me. I was playing in the Ultra League finals, Varus, so I don't know. I just like him.
You are our savior, by the way, because we're getting spam with those two AD carries. So it is a breath of fresh air every single time you bring the Varus. So thank you, and the meta thanks you as well. Looking into this game, you see the Evelyn, you see the attack speed Ari. What goes through your mind as a player as soon as you get out of the champion select and you see the lethal tempo on the Ari?
I mean, I didn't expect this one. I saw Caps was playing this, but I honestly don't think it's good. I think if you wanna play like AD marksman on mid, you have plenty of options, like better options than AD Ari, but I don't know. I don't think Singularity can make playoffs, so I guess they just wanted to test it or play for fun, something like that.
Yeah, they no longer can make playoffs, so I think they were trying to
Yeah.
spice it up a little bit. And the way you adapted, like the entire team in terms of vision, pressure on the Evelyn, is this something that Turok called out for you guys to take aware? Like, do not allow Evelyn to get an early level 6, invade the jungle with all the vision you can get, or was this something that the team consciously decided upon?
I think it's more team. Like when you play solo queue, there is a lot of like Evelyn mains, so you kinda. I think all of the players got used to the thing that Evelyn can just like you can just easily counter her with pings, and like I don't know, you just have to be really bad to don't do it. No, like.
And since it's the first time that I get to talk with you on the interviews, I like to take this time to get to know what makes you, like, what is your drive? JDXL almost securing the second seed for the playoffs. What does this mean specifically to you? Like, what winning the entire split would mean to you, Zamulek? I don't want to talk about the team. I'm talking about you as a player.
I mean, I came to NLC just to win the league. I really want to like win something in my career. I was in Poland. I was really close to win a Ultra Liga tournament 2 times. I lost 2-3 in both finals. So it would actually mean to me like it's a how to say achievement in my life. Like I don't know. I just want to win something, like grab some trophy.
Okay. I mean, the team looks solid, so who knows what's going to happen at the end of the split. And now, if you're talking about trophies and achievements and end goals, what is your objective as a player in League of Legends competitively? You're looking into this game, you're getting better every day, you have a solid team. What is the future end goal for Zamulek?
I just want to enjoy life. That's my goal.
It's a good one.
Like seriously, I don't have any expectation for my life. Like I have to make LEC in 2 years or something. Like I think when I will work on my life, I will work on my lifestyle. work on my game, try hard every day, then I think everything will come with future. But for now, I just want to enjoy life and be happy.
Makes sense. Makes sense. Enjoying life is a good objective, man. It seems like a clean one. Zami, thank you so much for the interview. It is a pleasure to meet you, and I'll see you soon. Who knows, in the playoffs.
Thank you. See ya.
See ya. There you go, JDXL looking sturdier as they go on. Singularity pulling a fast one on us with the Avalanche, with the Yari in the mid lane, with the stack speed. Obviously, just as we talked about, it doesn't mean anything to them because they are not allowed to go to playoffs anymore. They only have one victory, so they're out of the equation. But it's always good to see something like this, like the spiciness of picks. And we got that promise on Twitter, and this is why I'm going to talk with Yeppe, who was the one promising us all those. Oh, it's not Yeppe, it is Pop. There you go, Pop. I got bamboozled. There you go, Pop. Welcome. I got the promise from Yeppe on the social media, and you picked the Evelyn. Who decided upon this?
So Eve is, I think, like a little bit underappreciated as a character in general, but she's kind of hyper unique in the way she plays, so it doesn't get picked up that often in competitive play. Yeah, I think there's an Eve one trick in NA Academy who can pull her off quite well, and I have kind of a history of playing her as well. So I wanted to try her into Volibear, which is I think like one of her better matchups. Yeah, I think. No champion could have maybe made up for our lack of performance in this game. But yeah, I think it was fun no matter what.
Let's be honest, your jungle was heavily warded and you received a lot of attention as an Evelyn in the jungle, which is really hard to get that level 6, right?
Yeah, I think I made some decent calls on kind of like avoiding invades and stuff and trying to go for something else. But I think like later on, like especially getting counter ganked and them kind of like baiting me, especially to go for stuff. Yeah, it was just a bit too difficult for us in that moment. But
I would like to go back, Pop,
yeah,
if possible, to the last game you guys had in the previous week where you guys took the first victory. I noticed the clip. And I know how hard that was, like how good it was for you to feel that victory. But I want to hear from you, what does it mean to get a victory on the NLC with like the new formation of the team?
Yeah, that feeling was absolutely euphoric. It's kind of like you don't know, like water tastes really good after you haven't drank it for like 4 weeks, you know. That's kind of what it was like. We were getting really close, I think, in the weeks beforehand, or the games were kind of progressively getting closer and closer, and we are kind of showing small signs of sentience before the Niriki game. And I think like Niriki was probably the highest likelihood we had a chance of winning against, and for us to do it in that way. And I think for me, especially, having a decent performance in that game was really important, showing that. I can do things, and I think that confidence is going to roll really well into like M&M on Wednesday. Looking forward to that.
That's exactly what I was going into, because obviously you say it was the achievable team to win versus Nuriki, but you still have 3 games. Out of these 3 games, which game do you think it is achievable as well to get another victory?
Yeah, so I think we have M&M, Bifrost, and I don't know what the other team is. Dusty, I think. I honestly think there's a good chance we can take a game off either of them. I think Bifrost lost to Niriki a few weeks back. So whether the chance is high or small, I think, we are definitely going to be competitive in those games. I think XL and X7 are a bit in their own league, so these games, especially against us, don't look too nice. But I feel so confident and so ready to play into M&M and the teams next week.
Pop, it's always a pleasure to have you with me on the interviews. Thank you so much. Obviously, I love the clip. I got to tell you, I love the clip. I had to blur out a few parts of the clip, but it was amazing. Yeah. I get the idea. I get the hypiness as well. It was lovely, and congratulations on the victory. And I want to see more of that for Singularity. Moving on. Thank you so much.
Thank you, man.
There we go. Singularity with those words. It is a good clip. If you beep most of it, but it's a good clip. There's a lot of transit on that street though. Now, without further ado, I would like to send it to a quick break before we move on to the next game. It's going to be Bifrost versus Riddle, and Riddle needs this victory. Bifrost needs this one if they want to fight for the second spot. High stakes game. I'll see you soon.